Caulfield's opening day of the Spring Carnival produced a match race to remember, as Redout's choice removed all doubt to his star status. And Northern Drake snatched a break on the opposition. Today, it's the main course, and best pointed to the first Tuesday in November, the $1.8 million Foster's Caulfield Cup. After last year's big miss, the Colin Alderson stable is back with race favourite Sky Heights, and the temperamental in a flurry. But it would be dangerous to dismiss the trainer who's won the event more times than anybody else. Cup's king, Bart Cummings. Yes, the Carnival Cash has brought the stars out in force for one of the greatest days of the turf year. The Foster's Caulfield Cup, showpiece of 5 fabulous hours of racing, right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports. Good afternoon and welcome to the Heath here at Caulfield for the 123rd running of the $1.8 million Foster's Caulfield Cup on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Last year provided one of the most controversial races in history with 66-1 chance Torfin's Melody in a roughhouse affair, bowling over Jezebel and Champagne and incurring a $20,000 fine for jockey Ray Cochran along the way after the shock inclusion in the field. Well, 1999 has outdone even all that. Controversy during the week over the qualifications of horses for the Cup. Strike action by TAB workers, but bigger than all that, news this morning of a nobbling scandal. 2 favourites, Perito in race 2 and Mastic in race 8 from Tony Vazel's stable, have allegedly been got at. It's alleged the 20-year-old son of a prominent racing identity is being interviewed by police. Controversy, scandal and skullduggery. Ken Callender and Simon O'Donnell, welcome to Foster's Caulfield Cup Day.
Thanks very much, Ed. Well, the racing is going to get the hairs up on the back of your neck, but what a horrible way to start this morning, Ken, just with the nobbling scandal.
Yeah, we don't want that sort of publicity when we've got the Caulfield Cup. We want the Caulfield Cup to be on the front page for all the right reasons, and I think tomorrow it will be, because it's going to be one heck of a race.
It is going to be one heck of a race, and a man looking forward to it, I'm sure, is Darren Beebman. Good afternoon, Darren.
Thanks, Simon. Kenny, yeah, it's going to be great watching those full field of runners, the Caulfield Cup, thundering down the straight. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, it's going to be some fantastic racing here at the Heath this afternoon. Let's have a look at the races we've got for you. Races 2 right through 9, starting with the Permastall Plate just after midday, and they'll be coming up soon. The Norman Robinson for the 3-year-olds, the Kunji handicap. Race 5, the IGA Supermarket Stakes, and I have a bit of a stake in that myself, and I'm looking forward and hope Delirious does particularly well. Then the Mercedes-Benz at 3:30 p.m. Of course, the Foster's Caulfield Cup. It's going to be an absolute beauty over 1.5 miles, 2,400 metres, followed by the Scalacci Stakes, and the last on the card at 4:55 p.m, the Tristark Stakes. A couple of races coming from Sydney, Ken. Poor cousin today, but why shouldn't they be? It's a wonderful day down here.
Yeah, look, we're showing you the City Tattersalls Cup. Now, that's on at 3:50. Now, we've got written there Caulfield Cup coverage permitting. Now, we're only putting that in to be fair dinkum with you, because if you remember last year, we just missed the race because of the protest in the Caulfield Cup. Now, if there happens to be a protest or something such this year, we might have to delay our coverage of the City Cats Cup. But we're showing that. We're showing the Lightning Handicap. They're 2 great races.
Now, the scratchings here at Caulfield today, of course, Perito and Mastic are the 2 horses that have been nobbled overnight, and the controversy surrounding them, of course, they're not here. Race 4, number 11, Kingston Way, the IGA Stakes, Buster Jones, Machine Gun Tom, Principe Walker out of that. Race 6, number 15, Sterling Avenue. The Foster's Caulfield Cup, out go the emergencies, Inshallah, Able Master and Go Flash Go. Of course, Mastic, I mentioned earlier. Lord Kingston is also out of the 8th. And race 9, we see 2 horses, Tall Poppy and Wellington Dreamer, out of the last here at Caulfield. Well, we've seen 1 race run and 1 here so far at Caulfield. I wonder how the track's playing. Let's go to our expert, Simon Marshall.
Thank you very much, Simon. I'm walking past the position where you'll see the Caulfield Cup jockeys saluting. I'm here on trackside, and perfect conditions out here. We've had a little bit of rain during the week. The rail is out 6 metres, and my report is that all jockeys will be happier to stay off the fence. They do think it will chop out on the inside running rail, so look for these horses that are going to sit off the speed today and make their runs 3 to 4 to 5 wide. I think you'll see that sort of pattern forming. But as I said, perfect conditions. Can't wait to rip into it. Back to you, boys.
Yes, they are perfect conditions here at Caulfield. There's been a lot of rain during the week, and
Into the conditions well here. Sit back off him and get a beautiful run. Blackfriars is just being pushed into the gates. He's a lot fitter too. He's a big, strong horse. He looks enormous going in. Liberty Halls looks great around the barriers. He'll be one of the last to load up. But very hard to knock the fave here, Kenny. Shogun Lodge really took the eye, that's for sure. I also thought that Hawksy's horse did look extremely well too, Freemason. He'll run a good race today. Back to you.
Yeah, there's Shogun Lodge about to go forward for Shane Dye. Blackfriars is a handsome horse, Simon, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is a handsome horse, son of Dane Hill, and he carries those Robert Sangster colours with pride. He really sets them off. They've won lots of races throughout Europe and America, and also here in Australia, and they don't look out of place on the back of Blackfriars.
OK, well, Shogun Lodge is about to take his place on the outside of the field. His half-brother Referral will be running in the big one later, the Caulfield Cup. Time for the Norman Robinson. Here's Greg Miles.
All clears through, and they're off and racing in the Norman Robinson, and Freemason in the Cerise began well with poking around. Liberty Hall, Troubadour got away well, and Blackfriars settles just behind them. Chief Scout is wide out and going towards the front. Humphrey Go-Kart settling third to last from Shogun Lodge, and Unlimiting is last of all by the 1,600 metres now, and here Liberty Hall taken to the lead, narrowly in front with Chief Scout on the outside, wanting the front and now fighting it. So as they settle fully and out to the 1,400 metres, it's Chief Scout going clear for Chris Muntz. 2 to 3 lengths on Liberty Hall, plenty of pace about. Poking around on the rails is third, a length and a half then to Freemason, who lobbed along beautifully fourth. 2 Troubadour outside Blackfriars, a length and a half to Humphrey Go-Kart. 2 to Shogun Lodge, and Unlimiting is last as they top the rise on the back of the track near the 1,200. And it's Chief Scout by 2, just backing off the tempo a little. Leads from Liberty Hall, second, a length and a half away in third is Poking around. On the outside is Freemason, 2 to Troubadour on the outside of Blackfriars. 2 lengths further back is Humphrey Go-Kart, followed by Shogun Lodge, and 2 to Unlimiting, who'd be about 12 or 15 from the leader. 900 to go to the railway side, and it's Chief Scout by a length and a half. Liberty Hall is second. On the rails is Poking around. On the outside, fourth is coming into it now Freemason with his run. 2 to Troubadour going past the 800. Blackfriars niggled out on the rail. Then Shogun Lodge spotting the leader about 8 or 9 lengths, and then Humphrey Go-Kart and Unlimiting by the 600 metres. Chief Scout is being pressed on the outside by Liberty Hall, and Freemason 3/4 away. On the rail, Poking around, not responding to hard riding, and Troubadour's coming home, and 2 lengths behind them Shogun Lodge and Blackfriars at the point of the turn now. And here moving up is Liberty Hall on the outside to have a crack at Chief Scout, who corners in front. They've kicked away on Freemason, and now Troubadour running on with Shogun Lodge getting to the extreme outside. Chief Scout is giving something on the inside. Liberty Hall is having a devil of a time to get to him. Back behind them now Shogun Lodge and Freemason are coming there across the track here. Liberty Hall, here's Blackfriars bursting through. Chief Scout is still there, but Blackfriars lunged and won. Blackfriars has got there in a last bound to beat Chief Scout. Photo third between Freemason and Shogun Lodge. Liberty Hall just tiring in the last little bit of the race to finish out of a place, followed by Troubadour. Long break back behind those, then to Unlimiting, Humphrey Go-Kart and Poking around.
Yeah, the Robert Sangster colours have got there in time, and number 3, Blackfriars, 450 and 150, has just beaten the pacemaker Chief Scout, number 7, who has paid 230, and a very, very close photo for third between Freemason and Shogun Lodge. There is the photo for first, and it's no doubt that Blackfriars is there in time. It looks like the one on the inside, number 7, will hang on for second. He has, and we're waiting for third. There is the close-up of Blackfriars. Greg Childs riding him. The horse he's just going past in the green colours is Chief Scout, and there's no doubt about him getting second. Officially third is number 2, Freemason, from the John Hawke stable, with Shogun Lodge in 4th place. Now that's Chief Scout in front. Liberty Hawke closest to him with the black and white cap. He couldn't go on. Then the horse with the white cap is Blackfriars. Outside of him in the Cerise is Freemason. And widest of all in the green colours is Shogun Lodge, who was forced deep, kept coming, and may not have been all that much at home in the soft going. Peter Hayes, the successful trainer, is now with Darren Beedman.
Well, congratulations, Pete. It was a fantastic win. He looked to be struggling a long way from home, but that Dane Hill bloodline just stepped in about 200 out. What do you think of his win?
I was very pleased with him. I thought we were, when the pressure went on at the half mile, I thought, oh no, he's not going in the ground at all. And Greg kept persevering and persevering, and the colt kept trying, and he was tremendous on the line. He seemed to get into a bit of better ground in the straight and got into gear again and stayed on very strongly.
It's a good last start win over 1,800 metres. Obviously, he's on par for the VRC Derby.
Yep, the plan's been VRC Derby all the way through, and he's right on track.
Okay, Pete, thanks very much for your time. All right, before you go, Nina Araka and the Hind for the Cup while you're here.
They're both nice chances. I just love it to keep drying out a bit, you know, just to sort of give the horses that are coming from behind a bit of a chance. But that then was a bit promising too, that those horses came from, him and Shogun Lodge came from behind and stayed on well. So,
okay, all the best. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for your time.
Okay, we just saw the head on there, and yeah, he got there in time. Beautiful ride by Childs. He and Di were together along the back of the track. Di went wide on Shogun Lodge. Childs went through the middle on Blackfriars, and that made the difference between victory and defeat.
Yeah, certainly did, and he was at work a long way out. I don't think, you know, there's probably a fair bit of improvement left in this horse, because he may not have handled the ground as well as you would have liked today. Simon Marshall's over there with, I'm sure, a pretty much tired Greg Childs after a tough ride.
You're not wrong there, Simon O'Donnell. He's got a big head on him. He's a big horse, Greg, and he was struggling a long way from home, but he's obviously got a big ticker.
Yes, hey, woo.
Oh, big boy.
He's struggled a long way out. I had to switch the stick into the left hand. He wanted to lay in. Wasn't happy in the conditions. Just kept at him, and he's a real stayer. Looking forward to the Derby.
Not a bad Derby trial at all. Let's talk about the Caulfield Cup, Nina Haraka. It's a good sign that this horse was back off him and made ground late, Greg, because she's just going to sit off the speed today, you'd think?
Yes, that's right. I haven't spoken to Peter about tactics, but she's got a nice gait. I'd like to think we can use it a little and get one off the fence, up in front, you know, fifth, sixth, somewhere around there.
Well, Peter doesn't give you the instructions. You've got 3,000 owners that I'm sure will help you get around the Caulfield Cup with the instructions.
If she wins, there won't be a restaurant big enough to cope with all these winners.
Go on you, Greggy Childs. All the best on Nina Haraka in the Caulfield Cup. He's coming back on Blackfriars.
That's a plus, and he raced well when he's, you know, raced in Melbourne once before, so it's a nice race for him, and I think he ran extremely well.
2,000 metres, where to from after today?
A little depends on how he races today, really. You know, I mean, he is still in the Cox Plate, but, you know, that's most probably a little above his depth, but I'm only taking him race to race, so we'll just see what happens.
Okay, all the best.
Thanks, Darren.
Yes, Lee's still in the Cox Plate. That's an interesting one. Let's go over behind the barrier, and Simon Marshall, how'd they look?
Yeah, extremely well. Kingston's running a bit of weight off him, Simon. He's a lot fitter today. As a matter of fact, Sapur looked fantastic. Oliver Twister's about to walk up, and he looked sensational. As did Make a Scene number 7. We've only got one more to walk in, so we'll head back to you and Gregory Miles.
Okay, they're about to go, and Greg's ready for the call. Here he is.
Thanks, Ken. Ready for the Kunji run for the first time on Caulfield Cup Day. All in, they're off and racing. Nahayan bounded in the air at the start, missed it a little bit, and Dubourg dropped out to the tail. Make a Scene got away well on the inside. Aggie's Heart is pushing forward with Knightly Sword. Lawyer and Oliver Twister showing some pace today, and up there too is Ultra Smug. As they sort themselves out, Zapore's back to about middle of the field, heading to the 1500. Knightly Sword holds them out and leads by a length. Running second is Aggie's Heart. Lawyer is third outside Ultra Smug. A length and a half to Oliver Twist now, fifth from Make a Scene. Super Crest is in the centre. 2 lengths Zapore, 1 to Nahayan, 2 to Lease, followed by Dubourg and Old Tawny, and Sheer Kingston whipped the field in. Knightly Sword out to the 1200 by almost 2 lengths to Aggie's Heart. A length away to Ultra Smug and a length to Lawyer. A length and a quarter back in the field. Super Crest on the inside of Oliver Twist to Make a Scene. Ahead to Zapore. A length and a half further back is Nahayan, and then Lease. Dubourg well back as Old Tawny, and Sheer Kingston as last as they go by the 1,000 metres. And Knightly Sword rated beautifully in front by Marie Payne, leads by a length to Aggie's Heart. A length and a half away Ultra Smug. Lawyer a half length away fourth. A length and a half Oliver Twist on the outside of Supercrest. 2 Zapore. Make a Scene the rail from Nahayan, Old Tawny, Lease, and then Sheer Kingston and Dubourg. At the 700 metres now, and Knightly Sword about a half length on Aggie's Heart. On the rails in third placing Ultra Smug, ahead to Lawyer. Oliver Twist is going through on the inside as Ultra Smug eased out to make his run. There's Zapore let loose, and he's going around the outside with the run very quickly, and Nahayan is tracking him into the race as they near the turn now, and Knightly Sword is joined and headed by Oliver Twist, who came through on the rails. Zapore out wider as they corner now, and Oliver Twist, what a lovely ride this is. He's got to the outside and he sprints 2 in front from Zapor Make a Scene is making some ground, and they're followed by Aggie's Heart, and next Nahayan, but it's Oliver Twist the leader. 150 metres to go. He's more than 2 lengths to Make a Scene, and then Zapor on the outside from Nahayan, but it's Oliver Twist racing away. He's had no luck lately. He deserves this. Oliver Twist by 5. Make a Scene second, Nahayan third, Zapor 4. And then came Aggie's Heart and Lawyer from Ultra Smug, Knightley Sword, Dubourg, Shear, Kingston, Old Tawny, Wellbacker's Super Crest, and Lease has run a shocker, tailed off last.
Okay, Jimmy Cassidy showed them a trick or two there. Brilliant ride, came through along the inside, pushed wide in the straight, and he killed them. 5 Oliver Twist, 4.10 and 170. 7 Make a Scene at $3.50, and 10 the New Zealander Nahayan at $4.20. Ridden back in the field today and came with a strong finish. But well, Oliver Twist blitzed them as we picked them up. He's out in the centre of the track. The horse inside him in the pink is Make a Scene. Had every chance but couldn't run him down. And watch out very deep. The widest runner is Nahayan. That's Zapor in the yellow colours. And he's running third at the moment. But Nahayan just keeps coming, and she grabs third money in the last 50 or 60 metres. But back to the winner, and really it was Daylight that finished second, because it was a very, very easy win indeed to Oliver Twist. There in the blinkers in the orange colours. Jim Cassidy, what a rider, and I think he gets 10 out of 10 for that performance, Simon.
Yeah, certainly does. Just a wonderful ride from Jimmy Cassidy. He got the jump on the maul. He knew where the best going was. He headed for it, and he knew he had plenty of horse underneath him. Away he went, found the line particularly strongly. Make a Scene just whacked away for second. Nahayan made some good ground late, but you can't take anything away from the winner. Oliver Twist, beautifully ridden and trained. Brian Mayfield Smith, the man in charge, and at the moment the man in charge is Jimmy Cassidy on Oliver Twist, and here he is with Simon Marshall.
And tactfully gifted he is, Simon. Beautiful ride, Jimmy. Summing up, mate.
Oh, I had a bad gate, went forward, got a beautiful run by the time we got to the top of the hill. I travelled beautiful on the run, Simon, and they all started peeling off, wanting to get out at the 600, and oh, Jimbo went the short way, up in the inside, and got out about 5 or 6 coming out the corner, and shut the gate. Thanks for coming.
He's been an unlucky horse, but he's rewarded for his consistency. Jimmy, you're riding Sea Squirrel in the Cup. He's a bit of an outsider. Graham Rogerson trains him.
Yeah, he worked nice here, Simon. A little bit of a query in the ground, but look, the track's improving all day, so another hour or so before the Cup yet, so can only improve, Si.
Wouldn't happen to be a ring-a-ding-ding Pumpers the King, would there?
Ring-a-ding-ding, Pumpers the King.
That's all we wanted, boys. Back to you.
Jim, stick the riding, give away the singing, boy. Great rider, though. There's none better than the punter, James Arthur Cassidy. And, well, a few of the professionals here at Caulfield today thought the horse opened up a little bit short, but bookmakers knew best, because he did have a little bit on them there. And great performance on the Brian Mayfield Smith trained Oliver Twist. As you heard Greg Miles say, he was a little unlucky last week, but he got the prize today. Darren Beedman is with the connections.
Congratulations, Brian. The old combinations back together. Jimmy and yourself was a fantastic win. A great training performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I don't take much credit for it.